Dave, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
You know, when you watch a SpaceX rocket just tear through the atmosphere, you're seeing so much more than an amazing piece of engineering. You're actually watching the engine of what could become one of the biggest, most complex companies in history. So today, we're going to connect the dots, from the fire of the launch to the finance of a potential $1.75 trillion IPO. It all starts with that sound, right? That familiar, heart-pounding countdown. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. This is it. This is the moment where all that potential energy becomes this earth-shaking kinetic force. And liftoff! Go Falcon, go Starlink! I mean, in just seconds, that rocket is already supersonic, traveling faster than the speed of sound as it just powers its way off the planet. Then you hear Mission Control call out Max Q. So what does that actually mean? Well, it's the moment of maximum physical stress on the rocket. It's this point where the combo of its speed and the air density are putting the most intense pressure on the vehicle's frame. Getting past that milestone safely is absolutely crucial. What happens next is just this stunning high-speed ballet of engineering. You've got main engine cutoff, then stage separation, and then the second engine start. These three things happen in an incredibly quick succession. It's a perfectly timed sequence that keeps pushing the payload up toward orbit. And this right here perfectly shows what makes SpaceX so different. We're literally watching two missions at the same time. On the right, the second stage is continuing its journey to space, but on the left, that first stage booster pops out its grid fins and starts its own journey, back down to Earth. One vehicle goes up, one comes down. And then, just a few minutes later, you hear the words that completely change the economics of spaceflight forever. Stage 1 landing confirmed. This landing, by the way, was the 168th time SpaceX has recovered an orbital-class rocket. Think about that. They've turned this extraordinary event into a routine procedure. So that brings us to the central question here. The launch is spectacular, for sure, but why is the landing the most important part of the whole mission? Well, because that single act of reusability is what transformed SpaceX from just a rocket company into a potential multi-trillion-dollar behemoth. But it almost never happened. Let's rewind a bit. Between 2006 and 2008, the company's first 3 rocket launches all failed. They were pretty much out of money. That fourth flight, it wasn't just another try. It was literally a do-or-die moment. And that one success in September 2008, that was the key that unlocked a lifeline from NASA. And this number right here, this is what saved the company. A $1.6 billion contract from NASA to run resupply missions to the International Space Station. That cash, and maybe more importantly, that vote of confidence, didn't just stop them from going bankrupt. It funded everything that came next. So here's the crucial point. Once SpaceX could land and reuse its rockets, it could launch things a lot, and for cheap. This unlocked an entirely new business model, building its own massive satellite constellation, Starlink, to beam high-speed internet all over the world. And Starlink has quickly become the company's main cash cow. Its footprint is just expanding like crazy, recently launching in Nigeria, the first African country to get the service. This isn't some side project, it's the economic engine driving the whole company forward. The scale is just staggering. With over 9,600 active satellites whizzing around in orbit, SpaceX has built an infrastructure that would have been completely impossible, economically speaking, without those cheap, reliable, reusable rockets. So how does all this translate into value? Well, you combine that launch dominance with the massive revenue from Starlink, and you start hearing whispers of a potential IPO with a staggering valuation, more than $1.75 trillion, a number that would put it up there with the most valuable companies on the planet. Yeah, and the IPO itself is expected to raise as much as $50 billion. Now, to put that into perspective, the current record holder for the largest IPO raise is Saudi Aramco at $29.4 billion. SpaceX is looking to almost double that. No big deal. So you have to ask, why go public and deal with all that pressure? Well, the ambitions are just bigger than ever. That IPO money would go to fund the next-gen Starship rocket, a base on the moon, and get this, AI data centers in space. The downside? They'll have to open their books every quarter and answer to the whims of Wall Street. And just when you think you've got the story straight, it gets a lot more complicated. In a move that really surprised a lot of people, SpaceX acquired xAI, an artificial intelligence company that's burning through something like $1 billion of cash a month. Now, supporters of the move, like this analyst from PitchBook, they argue that it creates something entirely new, a company that combines dominance in space, global internet, and cutting-edge AI. As they put it, it's a profile that just doesn't exist anywhere else in public markets. But this has kicked off a huge debate for investors. The bear case, the pessimistic view, is that SpaceX is watering down its incredibly successful space business to fund a super risky venture in a really crowded AI field. The bull case, though, is that this creates a vertically integrated innovation engine, where AI can optimize rocket launches and Starlink provides the global internet for that AI to run on. It's a vision where every part of the business makes the other parts better. And that leads us to the final critical question that investors are going to have to answer. Is this sprawling, wildly ambitious combination of space, internet, and AI the actual blueprint for building the future? Or is it a multi-trillion-dollar gamble that risks a proven winner in one industry on one man's all-encompassing vision for several others?